Hello guys, welcome to another live session. Sorry. Welcome to another live session. It's the 4th of May 2016 today, and I will show you guys what I'm looking at, what we have been looking at in the chat room. Don't forget that if you're not in the chat room, you can join us. You can join us with a free 2 week trial. And with this 2 weeks trial, you will have a, and here we go. You will have a free full access in the chat room and all the tools we offer there. So it's no limit on your trial like many people out there do. Okay, so when you're on the free trial, you have the full access, and we don't even ask for your cards details. Okay, so it's just straightforward, friendly type of trial that we offer at the moment. Okay, many people are there, not not a lot, but because we also want to give you guys the focus, right? We want to teach you guys how to trade. We also make trades there together, which last month we made them more than 3,000 pips in total. Okay, so we had an amazing result in the chat room. But keep in mind, the chat room, it's made to teach you guys how to trade. Okay, not for you guys to just join there and just open the trades that we open and that's it. It's not the type of business that we offer. So keep that in mind, and keep in mind that you can have a free 2 weeks trial if you haven't taken before. That's all I can tell you, right? I'm not going to spend the time here just talking about what we do. Okay, so because probably you already do, and if you don't, like I said, here's the email. If you have any questions as well, here's the email address that you can always talk to us. Okay, guys. So moving to the markets now. Not big, but pretty interesting moves in the market, especially here in the dollar index. And let me delete a few things here. But the dollar index, guys, we have been cracking down since when? Since the 22nd of last month, right? Collapsing the dollar index. Everyone's saying that the dollar index was dead, whatever. And look what a bounce the dollar index has made. If I go to the 4-hour here of the dollar index, you will see, it was a pretty interesting bounce. Okay, pretty interesting bounce. And just talking about the moves here, and going back to the short-term charts. So dollar giving a bounce, gold going lower because of the correlation. You expect the gold to have that negative impact. As the dollar goes higher, the gold has a tough time go higher, so it goes lower. Dollar Canadian, we're gonna speak about that. And also, this is not gold. Sorry, guys. I changed this morning, but gold is looking even worse. But just to give you some idea of the correlation between dollar index and gold. And what else? Euro not making nothing today, really. It's just stuck between what, 1470 and what, 1430. Okay, those are the two levels in the short run, but those are the big moves, I think, so far. So let's look the market together and let's plan ourselves for tomorrow and the next few sessions that we might have. So dollar index here had a really nice bounce. Now let's check here the move that the dollar index has made since this last high to the low we made so far, which was actually yesterday, right? So as you can see here, and let me delete this to make it clear for us to see. But looking here, you can see here that we have surpassed the 38.2, and we are holding there a little bit above. Okay, now I think the first In my own opinion, I think the first resistance that we're gonna come across, and it's real resistance, pretty big, is this 93.70, 93.74. Just because of some, if I zoom in, you're gonna see some rejections there, and this wicks here as well. So around, I'm not gonna say, it's in 93.74 by the pip, but you know what I mean, right? It's this zone here, really. It can be pretty tough for the dollar index in the coming sessions, okay? So keep that in mind on the dollar index. Let's look the daily here, and the daily, guys, looks pretty amazing, right? Pretty bullish. Some people are calling this candle here as a hammer, but it's not, okay? Because the body, the wick is not twice the size of the body. If I put the body here, it's gonna be like that, and then I put another one, it's gonna be like here. So the wick is not twice the size of the body. So it's not a hammer, but looks pretty bullish, okay? It's not a hammer, but it's still pretty bullish there. Another thing here is that if you guys haven't watched the weekend video, I said that we were here, it was a Friday, so we were just somewhere here in the end on the lower side of the candle, and I said that we had a great chance to start this week going lower and touching this 38.2, which is the last low before the big massive bounce to the high, and great chance to go and retest that fib, which we haven't touched. That's the first time we touched this fib, and since we touched that, we surpassed a little bit, but what a bounce, right? What a bounce. Now, talking about long term here, in the next few weeks, I'm talking here about 2-3 weeks from now, I'm gonna watch pretty closely this RSI. I haven't been watching this RSI as much as I needed to because it's pretty boring. But if we break, if the dollar index continues to go higher, this RSI here is gonna break. And if that breaks, guys, I think it's gonna be another alert for us that the dollar, it's probably going back to the highs in the long term. Because keep in mind that what we are doing here, we are in this. Let me do it again. We are between two levels, so we are in a kind of a range, right? So if you come here, rejects here, there's a great possibility for us to come around here. Okay, that's what I'm thinking here in the dollar index. Too early to tell, but I'm already giving you guys what my thinking is in the dollar index here. So resistance for now, the next one's going to be 93.70, and support, guys, I think it has to be that the high we made. I don't know if this is the high we're gonna hold. This is what I don't like, when we want to add a fib and we need a high, right? And that high, the price action is just very close to. So I don't know, we can very easily start breaking highs, going higher. But let's say this high continues to hold and is giving us the idea that we have the 38.2 just below this wick here. So looks like this area here, it has some kind of support, which I have to agree with. So keep in mind that we have some kind of support around 92.86, okay? And what my plan here is it's pretty easy, I think, in my opinion, is that when we get here, you can buy dollars, and buy dollars can be against any currency that you think, of course, there is better than others, but, maybe a short euro if dollar index comes back here again, it's not a bad idea for that to happen, okay? So keep that in mind, but I think that the dollar is pretty bullish for now, and I think that if you want to, and I think that until we are well, in the short run, until we are above here, it's fine for being a bullish dollar. But in the long run, we can, come here, right there, come there again, and do something messy like that, and comes to 618 again, and then bounce, in the long run. But as we are trading, thinking here about the short term, about tomorrow and um, and maybe Friday, I think this level here, this zone, somewhere here, it can be a nice place for us to keep an eye on, okay, on the dollar index. So that's my view on the dollar index here, guys. On the dollar index, all right. Now let's look the majors now. Let's look at the majors. So euro here. Euro, it's amazing, a very interesting thing. I was going to share this chart, but I didn't because I was pretty busy with my exams. But one thing here is that I think the euro maybe touched or came very close to a resistance, channel resistance, because I put it into play, well, two channels but different places. You can see the weekly if I put it on this spike here and the upper side of the market, this high. It looks like we went there by the pip and reversed. If I go back to the daily and put draw a different channel with different highs and lows, looks like we have a little bit far to go, a little bit, few pips to go, okay? So that's what I'm thinking is, my thinking here is on the euro. But keep in mind, we are finding pretty hard to get above this trend line here, which is pretty vital, I think, pretty important in the market. Look how many times this trend line has been, holding the market a little bit. So is this another time? So is this the place for the euro to come lower again and maybe go higher? I don't know. But I think that we are in a big channel. With another small channel inside it, which is this one here. I don't know if you can see it, right? So that's what I'm thinking here on the euro is. Now, does it look bearish? It does. It really does. And the guys in the chat room, I think it was Reese, pointed out that we had a shooting star, which I agree with it. And if we close like we are right now or in red, I think it's going to be a nice confirmation of a top using this candlestick formation. Okay, shooting star there, pretty clear. One of the, I don't know if you can get any better shooting star like this one here, but we need a confirmation. The confirmation needs to be a candle on the zero or red to confirm that the market's ready to change, which can happen. So I'm gonna be I will look this chart again tonight and see how it closed, and then probably tomorrow we're looking for corrections to sell, okay, but not right now. We still have about what, 3 hours to close the market, so keep that in mind. Now, support on the euro, we are pretty close at it, I think. I don't think we are far from a support here, and I think the first support, it comes around here, right? Yeah, somewhere here. So I think 1450 is a big support area, and if we break that, let me put Fibonacci from a low here to the high, and looks like if we break that, we have a great chance to come this 1368 level, which is the 6-1 May, I believe. So wait for a close. If we have a close below that level, comes back and then comes here, and then I don't know what's gonna do around there, but that's why my plan on the euro. Now, opportunities to sell, it's quite tough because we haven't moved as much as we could lower. But let me check here let me check something here. Okay, 1560. Yeah, I think 1450. We have some kind of resistance there, I think. That's what I'm thinking here. Let me have a look another thing here. And always keep in mind that look that we have in the future here, because the market might not be doing anything just because we have a very important data coming up. So tomorrow, we have some Aussie data overnight, and then we have retail PMI, which is not that big, but something to keep in mind. Then um, pounds PMI, UK PMI, and I think that's it. We have tomorrow, right? Friday, um, and Friday, yeah, we don't have any European data that can change here the game for real. That's pretty interesting. So the euro is getting a little bit congestion here, pretty rangy modes. I would probably only sell around here using this high as a risk. You know, I would probably do that. Not trade where we are because we are in the middle of a range, in my view. And so I think great places to sell here. Um, it's gonna be around this 1560, the 618, and 1540. I think this is the place you want to sell. I know it's boring. I know you want to sell. I know how looks, how it does look in the long run. But wait for a nice pullback, and this type of pullbacks are pretty quickly. So what I will probably do is leave an order around here because you can pretty fast see a spike and then boom, right? Keep that in mind on the euro. But like I said, levels to watch, resistance 1560, 1540, and supports 1450. I think it's pretty big. Okay, so those are the levels, guys, in the euro for today, for the rest of the day, and tomorrow. Okay, let's go to another one. Cable here. Cable is in the support area, which I hope the pound holds here because I have pound New Zealand exposure to long exposure on the pound New Zealand, so I'm long there. I'm short euro pounds. Okay, so I'm hoping here that the cable holds somewhere here. Now let's analyze here the market together and see where we are. So as you can see from a Fibonacci standpoint, from this low to this high here, we are the 38.2, right? So we have the 38.2, we have X highs there, which now can become a support. So that's why I think here's a great place for the pound to stop and hold here a little bit and start moving higher. Does it look the best chart I can ever see? No, no at all. It doesn't look that clear, right? That's one thing I can tell you. But looking just levels and see where the market already sometimes stops, this is the place to do it. Daily here, I don't know if this trend line is that big. I don't think it is. I can also, yeah, let me remove that. I don't really want to see a trend line. I was just looking for that. I only look those type of trend lines when I have a position are open already, but searching for entries, I don't really look those type of trend lines. But as you can see, I had this Fibonacci here in the 4-hour chart, and you can see that we are on the 38.2. If we break down and start continues moving lower, then you have to watch this 1.44 level, 140, 43.80 level, somewhere here. I think it's going to be the next kind of support on the pound. But technical point, it was a pretty nice rejection there at the 618, right? I know it surpassed that, but never closed above it. And the market, second day already on the big reds. So that's something to keep on the pound here. Our levels, let's see for support and resistance. Resistance now, I think in the short term, somewhere here is going to be kind of resistance now, isn't it? It's pretty clear. Support bounce came lower, retested and came lower again. So 44.75, I think that's the resistance we have to watch on the pound, and support we are already there. If we start breaking, then you have to watch this 44, 43.85, somewhere here for the next support area. Okay, but I'm not buying pound dollar exactly. You know, I prefer have the pound against other currencies rather than have against the dollar, because the dollar is pretty strong right now. So that's something to keep in mind. Right. Let's now look at the dollar yen. Dollar yen is the market that is this kind of market that corrects, have a big bounce, big fall, corrects, have a big fall, corrects, a big fall, right? No more trend, no more trend, really, right? The bad thing is that most of the people can't wait for this correction. You know, they can't wait for that. So what happens is that if the market stops and jumps 40 pips, they sell there, and the market moves 100 pips higher. You know, so keep this in mind. Does the dollar yen look still bearish in my view? I think it is. I think it is. I think it's too soon to say the dollar isn't. The dollar yen isn't. I think that we are soon. We will soon make a bottom around where we are, but it's not going to be that easy. You know, we can easily do something pretty crazy like that on the dollar yen. I don't think it's going to be straight away. I don't think it's going to be a V bottom. You know, it's not going to be a V bottom like that. So, but resistance here on the dollar yen, you have to watch. I think it's pretty clear, this 17.85 for resistance on the dollar yen. Oops. Dollar yen, that's the resistance I will be watching, you know, which is somewhere here, right? That's the resistance on dollar yen, and supports. I don't really know what. Actually, let me try something here. Okay. Yeah, you have to watch this low here, right? See if it holds when if we come back down. But dollar yen, guys, I don't know. It's not the best chart right now. I want to sell again, but not here, right? Probably. Yeah, I really want this 109.50, because then my risk is going to be pretty small regarding my take profit area. But selling here is pretty risky. That's what my problem is on the dollar yen here. But keep in mind on dollar yen, long term, you're getting, you know, we stopped at the 786, a pretty area of support and resistance. And we reached the head and shoulders target already. So keep that in mind. Also, keep in mind this RSI trend line here. If we start breaking this, maybe it's a signal that this thing is about to reverse. Okay, so that's dollar yen for you. Let's have a quick look on the dollar US, which is pretty easy because we already analyzed the euro dollar. But dollar Swiss here made a new low, but catched a pretty good bounce. After that, we are at some kind of resistance right now, I think, you know, around this 95.90 area. Let me delete this fib, it's old, and let me make a new one here. Let's see how the side of the correction we had so far. So we are at a 786, fighting to get above here. If we get above here, then I can think maybe we can go a little bit higher, but we are at resistance at the same time as the euro is at support, pound is at support. So it's a big task for the dollar index, you know, to hold here across the board. It looks like. Let me see the Swissy on the daily here, and you can see, guys, you know, we are we are looking pretty bullish here, right? But support here, support in the short term. Let me use the Fibonacci to help me out here. Oops. There we go. Okay. All right. Yeah, looks like it, right? So here's some kind of support around 95.36. If we break that, then I think we can come pretty easy to 95 cents. Okay, so if you want to buy here, buy there. If your risk just here, or if you think that the market's going to give a bigger correction, buy there for a correction there with your risk maybe below this low here. That's what I probably do myself. Okay, that's the Swissy for me. But as the dollar is going higher, I think Swissy here, it can hold here around this range. I don't know, maybe this is a range. Hold here and then breaks higher. Okay, but if we start breaking, if we break this 96 zone, 96, I think we have a great chance to come to this 96.62. I think this is the place you want to exit your longs if you buy. All right, so that's dollar Swiss. Now let's look the commodities pairs. Let's see how they are. Aussie pretty bearish, I think. Aussie's collapsing, right? And it broke this pretty big trend line I had on the chart here, which we have bounced a few times already. And we came pretty close to 76. I'm quite disappointed we never came there because I was getting ready to short some there. And if we look the weekly, I had this arrow here drawn because I really wanted to sell somewhere there, and we never came to, and now we are reversing from there. So that's the Aussie for you if you're thinking about it. But let's see here what we doing at the moment. Actually, let me do that on the daily so you guys can see it properly. Right. So let me put a Fibonacci from that low to this high. We are the 38.2 right now, support, as the euro pound, as you can see, So here's a great place for the Aussie to hold. If it doesn't, I think you have to aim to the 73.50, and then I think here is going to be the big retest, because everyone that is long anywhere here, I bet their stop loss is just somewhere here. Their risk is just there, on the Aussie. So at support right now, I don't think there is anything you can do right now. If you want to trade now, I think it's too late. But wait for a correction, and a correction to, I bet it's gonna be this 75.50. Let me see. Yeah, a correction to 75.50. I think it can be a pretty good somewhere here, but I'm gonna put the trend line there. But somewhere in this zone here. So I think any correction on the Aussie to there, I think everybody that got long, everybody that got long anywhere there, I think they are pretty happy to close that trade if the Aussie jumps to this resistance area again, in my view. So keep in mind, resistance 75.50 on the Aussie. And if we get there, I will probably sell as well. Probably not Aussie. Well, yeah, probably Aussie dollar, because the dollar is pretty strong. So I don't think I would do that against any other currency. Let's look the QE. The QE, it's lagging compared to the Aussie, just because we got some mixed data overnight. But New Zealand here, like I said, we are inside of a channel like the euro dollar is, I think. And I think that this 68 cents, 68, it's pretty important for the QE, somewhere there, 68, sorry, on the QE. Keep in mind that we are, and I'm moving here the RSI because I want to make it, I'm thinking the worst case scenario, so I'm making sure it's difficult for the market to break this trend line here. But look, we're pretty close to break as well, but we are at support right now. And let me remove this red line. And we are the 786 right now, right? And the QE doesn't look clear, I have to say. Fundamentally, I know what can happen, but technically, pretty difficult, I have to say. Pretty difficult for the New Zealand dollar here. But where would I love to sell here? 69.50, but I hope we don't get there. I really don't. I hope that the New Zealand continues to go lower, so that my pound New Zealand stays going higher. But I think any correction to this zone here, I think is a great sell or somewhere there on the New Zealand, for a correction, and maybe a retest finally at the 68 cents, which is there. So resistance, I think 69.50, support 68 cents. I think those are the two big levels on the New Zealand dollar in the coming sessions. Okay, guys, keep that in mind. What else? Oh, dollar Canadian, finally. Yeah, this is the market that I'm pretty sad because I was getting long with the guys in the chat room. We got about 3 longs in this period here. We got like there, and here. I don't remember the correct levels. I just know where the place is because, if you look at it, if you look at this chart, we haven't done anything since we were between these two levels, right? So I can't exactly remember the levels here. So we got long there, got long here, got long there. So what happens is that it was before, like here, and this is back low here before we made a new low. So what happens is the market was not doing anything. I saw the oil screaming higher. I can go to oil pretty quickly here. Oops. And oil was screaming higher, this bit here. And I was like, what the F is going on? And then looks like we had a bullish flag, right? Which it was aiming all the way to 49 area. And I was looking at that and said, man, if this continues moving higher, this dollar Canadian is not going to stop. So why I'm long on this? So the first chance I had on dollar Canadian to close all my trading positive, I did it. I closed, and I was pretty happy because after I closed my trades, I think about 2 days after that, we made a new low here, so I was like pretty happy. But then finally we got a rejection I was waiting for, this pretty good bounce. And keep in mind from I'm not going to put even to the low, pretty close to that, but look, we already jumped 400 pips. Can he continue to go higher? Yes, it can, but it's pretty hard for the market after jump 400 pips without any correction at all, continues moving higher. So what my plan here, as you probably know, it's wait for correction. I think it's the best trading plan you can do, and always wait for correction. And I think that I moved to 27.20. I think it's a great correction for you to get some longs on the dollar Canadian. Okay, keep that in mind. But you can easily as well continue moving higher and break this channel that I think we are, here, retest, break the channel, retest, and then continues moving high to 32. That's pretty possible, but we don't know what's going to happen, and the only thing we can do is wait for a pullback. If it comes, we get it. If it doesn't, then it's too late. So I'm gonna wait for a pullback somewhere in this zone here. If we get it, I think I'm gonna get some longs there with my stop loss just below 26. So I'm gonna have about 100 pips risk here to make about, I don't know, I'm gonna aim for 32. So you can see how big my risk is compared to my reward, right? My take profit area. So keep that in mind, the dollar Canadian. So support here, um, I believe that, let me delete a few things. Here we go. So I believe the support we're gonna have is around, it's gonna be around 27 area, 27. If we continue moving lower, so watch 26.50 for that. Okay, for that support. Resistance, we are pretty close at it. I think we have some kind of resistance around this 29 area, 1.29. If we break it, then you can aim for 32 area, I believe. Maybe 31.50, somewhere here, 32, 31.50, or even 33, which I think is going to be quite greedy for you to aim for 33, which I'm aiming for this last high, somewhere here. It's going to be the first big retest, big test for the dollar Canadian, and see if we can break that. So this is dollar Canadian for you guys, but looks pretty bullish, right? And look at that, already you're bullish engulfing. It's Wednesday, I know, we can easily reverse that, but just keep that in mind, just keep that in mind. And looks like we had a wedge on the daily. We also broke that. So, and we broke RSI trend line. So everything aiming for the dollar Canadian to have a relief bounce here to the upsides. So I'm just waiting for a correction, really, to tell you guys the truth. Okay. So any correction on the dollar Canadian, I will be the first one to buy, but I want good levels, 27.50, 27 area, 26.50. Those other levels, I'll be happy to look the dollar Canadian and see what we're gonna do. Okay, so keep that in mind on there. Let's have a pretty quick look on indices before I go. So indices broke this channel, the 4-hour had, but we also broke, I don't know if it's called a wedge. And to be honest with you guys, I don't know. On Friday, I told you guys that it was a pretty easy buy where we were. We were here on Friday. We had a good bounce to resistance and came lower. And now I think the biggest, I think the good, test for the S&P is going to be this level here, somewhere there, which is around the 2038 area. Then that's the good. I want to see what we're gonna do there, because if we close the weekly below that red line, if we close like here, then the S&P might have a bounce to stop some people out, and then continue moving lower, But it's not gonna be an easy short, like I said many times, on S&P here. But are we bearish now to bullish? That's the tricky question, really. Are we changing here? Are we reversing here? I don't think we are there just yet, Yeah, I'm not sure. And remember, I told you guys that we could easily do this again. That might happen, Comes here, bounce, comes here again, bounce. It's gonna be like that. I'm pretty sure it will, and then maybe we can, go lower, but it's not gonna be. Don't expect this to, well, it's not gonna do that. Not until FOMC minutes, and it all depends what the Fed is gonna do as well. If they hike, then a stock's gonna have some pressure to go lower. If they don't, it can easily explode higher. That's what I can tell you. Okay. So that's S&P for you, but I think not much, but S&P. Gold here having a bit of a correction before we went to new highs last week. Now gold is pretty interesting because we are close to this last high we made here, right? and it's finding pretty hard so far to break that. It's not looking so healthy on the daily too. I can tell you that now. First of all, and let me add that on my chart now before I forget again. Looks like we broke a triangle, right? Looks like a pretty good triangle there. We broke higher, and let me try something here. Yeah, we never went there. That's the problem. If I see golds come, continues having pressure to the lower side and come here, I don't know. I think if we break this candles, oops. I think that if we break this candle's lows here, if we break that, I think gold's gonna have so much pressure because everyone's gonna be out. It's not gonna look so healthy. It's not gonna look healthy at all. So if we break that, guys, and you know what happens when we have a triangle? The market is locked, then explode, but then pretty fast it comes lower. You know what happens next? These things collapse, right? Because so many people traded this triangle thinking that the market was going lower, but never happened, So it's like a false breakout, and that's pretty dangerous. So that's what I'm telling you. And I'm more than happy to join the crowd in the short side if this is a real, if confirms that this is a false breakout on gold here. But we are coming to support. We are support as well on gold. So keep in mind this 20, I don't know, 20, 1268 area. I think this is a pretty big support, and we have to break that and close below on the 4-hour to show us that we are below support and now resistance, and we might continue moving lower. If we break that, then you might target 1255 or even 1245, 27, 47, somewhere here on gold. Those are two levels you can target on gold if we break that support. And I think that's all. Oh, before I go, let's look oil, because oil was it's looking a little bit more bearish comparing than before, right? I don't have any views on oil. I think it's a very confusing market, very dangerous market to trade. Of course, you can make pretty quick money here. You can, no doubt it. But I don't know, I hate to trade market that sometimes for no reason some news comes out, the market just gives that impact in the market for no reason. So that's that's what I can tell you. If I trade gold, I'm not gonna sleep so well. I can tell you that now. I'm not gonna sleep as Of course, you can do some scalps here and there. That's pretty good. But holding a trade for more than 2 hours for me on oil, you have to be, you have to be very strong mentally to do that. It's a really good market, quick money, like I said, but pretty dangerous. But support here on oils, I think it's gonna be that. I think 45.30. And remember, I'm looking on TradingView. Depends on your contract. You're gonna have some different numbers. So just let you guys know. And then the next support is going to be that 42.40. Pretty easy, guys, to see technically in the goals. I think just look previous highs, low there, and high there. So this zone here, in other words, this zone here, it's pretty big, right? I think that's pretty big on oil. So keep that in mind, guys, on oil here. Those two levels, 45.30, 42.40. And I think that's all. Let me check if you have any question. Um, mm, 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 mm. Oh, Ronnie is asking me for the euro pound. Sure. Let me look at that. Euro pound. I'm still holding my short, as you probably know. What I like here in the euro pound is that I think we are correcting this kind of, zone of spikes, if you want to call it. That's euro pound. Let me check something else. Okay. Let me delete this. This. Okay. And we are fighting here some kind of the 50% Fibonacci, right? Then there is this current level it's fighting against as well. You can put it a bit higher. It's fighting that. But to confirm that it's going to go lower, we have to break this 78.65. If we break that, then I'm more than happy. Then the market's going to go all the way back to the lows there. On the euro pound, I'm not going to short more. I will only short more if we get the 618 again, which is 79, 70 area. If we get there, I short more there, and my risk is going to be above 80. So you're going to see this. I will aim for this, for 78. That's my risk. That's my reward against my risk, which is that. All right. That's my plan, Ronnie. That's my plan. Keep in mind, I'm ready. Well, I'm ready. I'm still holding my short from 1890, which is all the way to here. No, I don't have any problems with that trade as well. But it's there. What else? I don't think that's all. I don't think no one else has any questions. Do you guys have any questions? I don't think you do. So okay, guys. I think that's all. If the guys in the chat room, I'll be more free now. From today onwards on the chat room, I'll be more active, and we will do very good, interesting things in the chat room because I will be free now. I only have an exam on Monday. But after Monday, you guys, trading 100%. I hope you guys can be, plan yourselves to have some time free as well to give some, give you guys some time to learn and, and get used to. Kirill is asking me for the pound yen. Let's look at that. I haven't been watching this pair for a very long time, I had to say. A very long time. So let me start this again. Let me delete a few things here. Okay. Yeah, so straight away we can see this area here is pretty big, right? On the pound yen. I don't really know, Kirill. I only know it's bearish market trend. But regarding trading, what can we trade on here, I don't really have no clue. No clue whatsoever. No clue whatsoever. Let me delete this. Yes, Ronnie, you're correct. Now I can stay on the computer, but now the red is better, so I'm gonna have a hard time staying on the computer and looking the weather outside. But I'm quite organized guy, so I'm planning to do a few things when the markets are pretty slow, so I don't complain. But Kirill, going back to your question here, pound yen, I don't have any questions. I don't have any views at all on this pair. No idea what the hell it's gonna do. One thing I can tell you is that this 154, I don't know, 144.50 or even 144 level, it's pretty big. That's all I can tell you, because there is nothing here. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna hold. It's not the best trend lines ever, but the pound, it's holding there, a little bit. Yen is going higher. I don't know. You have reasons to sell or buy. I think you better stay away from this market. It's not clear. Okay. Ronnie asked me for the Aussie New Zealand. This is the pair which we traded. It was looking so good, but now it's not looking as good as before. But looks like a diamond on the weekly. And one thing I can tell you is that diamond trend line, it's there. So I'll be watching to see if we can reach this 0730 area, 0750, and see what kind of reaction we have from that level. Okay, that's what I can tell you. I was thinking that this was an ABC correction, but it's not. I was thinking this was a flag as well, but it's not. So Aussie New Zealand here, I don't know. I'm gonna stay away a little bit. Okay, Ronnie. I don't think it's the right time for us to think about this pair again. I want to see more confirmation, because now the problem is that now we are below this big trend line here again. So is this? You have to think about what the market is doing it, and what it's doing is that we broke the trend line, which happened here, right? But we couldn't go higher, and now we are reversing. So is this a false breakout? FB. It's not Facebook. It's false breakout. So is this a false breakout? It's a great chance to have to be. That's my problem with the Aussie New Zealand. Okay, you have to look the two ways of the market. I really want to buy this pair, but technically, does it look like a good setup? No anymore. Okay, that's what I can tell you. On the Aussie New Zealand, really easy bitch. Yeah, it's running. She's not working as good. Oh, let's have a look on Pound New Zealand, because this is one I have some good positions there in play. Still, it's taking too long, guys. It's taking too long. That's the thing is, it's taking too long. But the good thing is that we are now making new lows. That's my problem is. Well, no, it's not my problem anymore, because before let's say before this line, we were making lower boys highs, lower new low, then this high, then another new low, and then we had a very slightly, for a few pips, we had a new low, a false breakout, and boom, right? That's the good thing. We are not making new lows. We are actually making new highs right now. So the market before was doing this, but now we are doing the opposite. We are doing this. The bad thing is that it's not going as fast. It's not going as pound Aussie, for example. Look at that. Look at that. But it can change. If the QE starts looking bearish, more bearish than it is, and start breaking those levels, and the pound stays stabilized where we are, this thing is gonna go higher. Don't keep in mind that this trade that I have is a very long-term trade. We have been talking about this on the chat room for weeks, for months. Jesus, I don't really like, you know, we were talking about this pound New Zealand when we were here, somewhere there, you know, we started talking about it and wait for a bullish breakout. Now that I have to respect this trading plan, you know. And now look, we made some money on the bounce here, right? We closed very good indeed. I closed somewhere there, not exactly by the pip on the high, but pretty close to the high. We reversed, you know, not reversed, but had a good correction, you know, as you can see here, and came to my first support area. We bought it, and that's how it goes, you know. And it's looking pretty healthy on the daily now, right? Tomorrow we can have a big day, you know, a big green candle here like that. This is gonna look, it's gonna look any, this is gonna look any bearish? Not for me, you know, not for me. And then I don't know, maybe Friday we can break this high here, you know. What happens if we break that high? Then we have to aim for this to 2.15, which I'm aiming to close part of my trade there. I don't know, I'll probably close half of it, but that's, you know, how it goes. Yeah, and you have to respect. I'm quite, I like, you know, it's holding here, it's not going lower. I like that, and I'm just holding my trade and see how it goes. All right. And I think that's all, guys, I have for you. Manchester City game in 4 minutes. Who's gonna watch it? I will. I will. I like football. But I hope you have a great day, guys. We keep in touch in the chat room, and Rudy's saying that he thinks we got perfect price in pound New Zealand. Yeah, I think the second one was at 808.50. The first one I put it somewhere here around 0985, somewhere here. So both trades are in good profit, you know, pretty good profit. The 808.50 is about what, 200 something pips in profit right now, which is good, but I think we can go a lot higher. I really think, you know, that's the thing. All right, I hope you have a great day, guys. I have to go. We keep in touch in the chat room, and I'll be in the chat room tomorrow all day. Okay, all day tomorrow and Friday. I'll be all day. Weekends I'm gonna revise. Monday I'm gonna have my last exam, and then, guys, work hard. All right, work hard. Let's trade the market and let's make that little bitch money. All right, guys, have a nice day, and I keep you guys in touch in the chat room. All right, have a nice day. Bye bye.